Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Jamie Dawn, your evolutionary revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for the week of September 10th through the 18th of 2023. And the way I'm going to present this week is going to be a little bit more on an energetic, intuitive level. I'm going to point to some astrological pieces, but I feel like what we need most right now is to be prepared for the energy that we're going to be working with. Now, we have a new moon in Virgo on Thursday. The following day, we've got Mercury stationing direct. It's been retrograding through its home sign of Virgo. And so on Friday, it is going to station direct. Now, all of us in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through communication, whether it's through transportation, the way we process information, have probably been affected. Oh, and let's talk about electronics as well, have most likely been affected by Mercury being retrograde. Now, most of the stories and things that you've shared with me have not been earth shattering, which is lovely. But what it has done is it has created enough of a, I'll say, unplanned chaos that has to be dealt with. You know, things like flat tires, miscommunication in conversations and how we share information, disappointing others because we didn't fulfill a commitment. Or it could be that we've needed to reset things because it was disorganized, or on my part, there was an overcommitted. I ended up doing the one thing that I said I wouldn't do. Years ago, when I moved from East to West Coast, I really committed to keeping my life as simplified as possible. And that includes my calendar. That includes the amount of energy that I commit to doing, right? The things that I was taking on. And well, true to my old patterns, I filled up my calendar the last couple of weeks pretty heavily, and it was full of meetings, which is great. And I love my sessions. I love working with you guys. At the same time, I had no time to execute certain things that needed to be done. And so it started to affect many other things, as well as disappointment with people that were counting on some things for me. And I've had to have some courageous conversations around it and admit fully, hey, I let you down. I apologize. That is not the way I want to operate. So I'm using this coming week as a perfect new moon in Virgo energy to be able to reset, look at my calendar, look at the way I'm organizing my life, look at the way I'm organizing things, and to be able to say, wait a minute, I need to create space. I need to get back to my time blocking and not my non-negotiables, if you will, of certain things that I cannot compromise. And I need to reconnect. This is perfect Mercury retrograde. I need to reconnect with some important conversations and people, relationships that need time. And it's not just for work, that just need presence time. And I think that's the other thing with this week energetically, is that when we're looking at a new moon, we look at setting intentions, right? And this particular new moon in Virgo, it emphasizes now for the next 6 months, where can I reorganize? Where can I reset things that allow me to be of greater service to myself, greater service to others? Are there certain things that I have moved around at the sacrifice or the martyrdom of myself, or followed, as they say, followed on my own sword because I thought I was responsible for everything and everyone, and I didn't put my mask on first? These are the kind of things that we're going to be exploring and setting new intentions for. And it may not be brand new intentions. These could be intentions that you set, like I mentioned, several years ago, that suddenly I compromised, and it's okay. We're all human. We're going to have our moments, not necessarily of relapse, but of a reset. And so the gift is I have different tools and different awareness now than I had then, so I can do it differently. So that's the invitation this week. We're going to probably feel like we can get some things done behind the scenes, checking off lists. I know that with 6 planets retrograde leading up to this new moon, we may feel a little bit more internalized, which means we may not want to connect with the outside world, or we may not want to get things done. But there's that intrinsic motivation that says, I don't want to clutter my life. Virgo doesn't like clutter. It wants to have, is this useful? Is this not? Right? Now, granted, I do know some Virgos who like to collect things, but everything has its place, so it doesn't feel so cluttered. But this is a great new moon to declutter. Look at your life. Where did I put too much in, right? If it's not things, is it time? Is it energy? Is it overcommittedness? That sort of thing. The other thing I will say is that this week holds some very sweet conversations about how you can collaborate with others in a productive way. Because the sun in Virgo is going to make a trine to Uranus, and it can make us feel a little bit more collaborative, a little bit more energized when we're working with others to create some stability and also some moments of that's beneficial, that's equal, because Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius, and Uranus, even though it has an erratic orbit, it also wants to be a benefit to the greater good. It wants to include others as well. And in the sign of Taurus, this is a time where it's really looking for that stability. So how do we create stability from chaos when it's all erratic, right? And that's where Virgo comes in to be able to create some order and structure in our lives of saying, does this still serve? If it doesn't, it's time to let it go, that I mentioned in a previous video about taking stuff to donation. It felt so good to cleanse. And in the middle of that, I found some things like my Halloween decorations that I'm going to put up at the autumn equinox. But I found some that I forgot I had in the middle of all this clean out. So it's great. So that made it exciting. So think of it that way, is that as we're decluttering, we may actually find something, some treasure that we've either forgot about, neglected, lost, that sort of thing. So I have a feeling that with imperfect Mercury retrograde theme, that something from the past comes back to be revisited and done and dealt with in a different way. We're also going to be looking at this week how we respond versus react, because there's going to be all these different triggers, right? Because personally, when I was working with this, I let somebody down. And when I was working with that, I went through the entire gamut of, okay, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe I should leave. Maybe, all that shadow stuff that comes up for me. And it's like, okay, compartmentalize it so it doesn't hurt so bad, or, whatever, because one of the things I hate most is disappointing someone. And so as I worked through it, and then I invited the conversation, there was a beautiful unfolding that happened, reconnection, and really trust is deepened because we were able to walk through that together. So I invite you, if you experience something similar to that or in a different theme, be courageous enough to be uncomfortable with the conversation or leading up to it, and then actually having it and inviting the other person or party to come to the table and ask questions, seek to understand, own your shit, don't push it off or project it, own it, and then say, how do we reunite? How do we work together on this? All right, you guys, I hope that this video helps a little bit. I'll send you some more. Look for my memes on social media for the new moon and how they affect you by sign. You can apply it to your sun, moon, or rising sign. I'm putting the sign on the first house, so that lets you know some area of your life. So in other words, if you're an Aries sun, but it's in the ninth house, then you're going to want to look towards your rising sign to see the house that it corresponds to, right? So you would look at it from the perspective of, and I just lost my train of thought. Welcome to Mercury retrograde. But it would actually place Gemini at your 12th house, and then Cancer at your first, or sorry, Leo at your first house. Sorry, Cancer at your 12th. Okay. Enough of my rambling. We're done. Have such a great week. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Come find me at jamiedawn.com. Take care.